language, okay? So, like, for example, it's no different than electricity is a language, plumbing is a language, being an auto car repair mechanic is a language. These are all languages. And so if you don't study the trade, you don't learn the language. And how can you understand something if you don't learn something so that you can apply some common sense to something? Like your car don't start. Why doesn't my car not start? Do I have juice to my battery? Do I have gas in the tank? Does my solenoid on my starter work? Does my starter work? You can see where I'm going with this. You have to be able to diagnose things real fast, right? Always isolate the difficulty, and then you're on your way to fixing your car, right? Turns out it was the solenoid, you know? So you replace that. You're not replacing every part in your car, right? So now, being that music is a language, effectively what happens is you're amongst a group of people and you're talking with them. And like a prime example, I'm sitting with some people the other day, and they're trying to tell me all about electricity. Now, I'm just quietly sitting back. I am an electrician, but I'm just quietly sitting back listening to them. And then finally, I just looked at them and I said, I says, you do realize you're talking to an electrician, right? So in other words, why, but they were talking shit. They didn't know the electrical language, right? Like, P over I times E, or pi, or watts, or do you know what this stuff is? Bars, volt, amps, reactive. Do you know what this stuff is? Do you know what resonance is? Like, I know this shit. Do you guys know what capacitance is, right? So when somebody's trying to talk shit and they're not talking in the correct terms, well, no offense. I mean, I don't look at them like they're stupid or anything, but like, please, in the world of life, don't talk shit. You have two ears and one mouth for a reason. And the more you quiet down in life, the more you learn. So again, music is a language, right? You have do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. This is a language, and if you can't talk this language, how are you going to play it? Now I'm into a natural minor. Do you talk the natural minor language? Do you talk this? Do you talk this language? Right? Do you talk this language? Do you talk the pentatonic language? Right? So it's a language, and I suggest you learn it, and you learn the tones of the language. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? These are the diatonic notes. All scales are derivatives from the major scale. And the pattern, the scale never changes, and that's why it's major. If you wanted a minor, I'd start doing that. I'd start doing things like this, right? Or right, to get a minor sound. So I suggest people, you learn the language. Like I hear these guys, oh, forget scales and forget this and forget that, and learn these little patterns. Well, what is a pattern? A pattern is a derivative from a scale. And being that it's derived from the scale, that's nonsense. I mean, don't get me wrong. I get learn the pattern, learn the note selection. Learn the note selection, but you don't need to know all the notes. Yes, learn this pattern. Just you need to know if they say the song's in G minor. There we go. They say it's in A minor. The pattern never changes. B minor. The pattern never changes. Right? So you can see where I'm going with this. It's very idiosyncratic, and it's imperative that you understand the language. If somebody says we're going to play a G major, and you go, oh, okay, so he's got these notes. If he says 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I want you to play the fifth. You know that you have these notes, and now you're playing the Mixolydian, right? And it's different too. Right? They sound completely different. So it's imperative that you learn the language, right? It's like you're playing an E minor, and you'll see that 1, 2, 3, 4. I always count my notes. That gives me 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a B note, and I know that the B pentatonic works on that too, and also shares the notes with the E natural minor, and also with the E pentatonic. Right? this E and this B share the same. Just like I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the major tonality, not the minor pentatonic or the natural minor, right? And so what happens is, now you know that while the guy's rocking or he's rocking an E, you're flipping it out in B. You know, right? You see this, guys? So now you have another alternative. So, like I say, he's rocking out in E. You have that musical flavor. Now you're adding the musical flavor, the context of the B flavor. So this is what you have here. Just like somebody says G major, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that becomes my D mixolydian. Now I know I can utilize that. They want to they say G major and they want to shift to a B minor chord. I can utilize the Dorian scale, and the Dorian scale has a different flavor from this. See, by omitting or adding a note, you get different textual colors and flavors. So I can't emphasize this enough. Music is a language. Simply learn it. Please do, by all means. Save years off your time. Don't learn things and go, well, if it sounds good to my ears, well, sure, if it sounds good to your ears, but why not learn maybe 5, 6, maybe 7, 8 patterns tops? And you don't need to know all these patterns in all the keys. All I need to know is this pattern. They say now it's in A. They say now it's in B. The pattern never changes. Now they want a G pentatonic or a G natural minor or an A pentatonic or an A natural minor. I'm good to go. I don't care. I just know which scale I have to apply. So it's a language. Know what to apply, learn what to apply, even before you pick up your instrument. I'm sitting there with friends and they say this song is A minor or whatever, right? And if they know their keys, we're all talking a language, and it saves me a lot of bullshit. I don't need to know all the notes in between all these, and I don't need to know all the notes. I just need to know these patterns, right? And that they say A major, there it is. They say A minor, there it is. They say they say A Dorian, man. Oh, there it is, right? A blues. Right? They want the blues. There you go. So anytime you hear the blues, you know to... these are your blue notes. The only difference between these notes and the pentatonic is that you're not utilizing that note. You see what I'm saying, guys? So you start developing a sound and a flavor. So learn these scales, because anytime you hear this, you know he's mixing a pentatonic with the blues. Hear this, guys? Dun, 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 dun. Now I'm getting into the blues out of the pentatonic. So, right? So anyhow, guys, keep it simple. Learn your things, and you just clearly saw what I did here. And man, how many records did those guys sell, right? And it's not like they played anything fancy, my goodness. So anyhow, you'll notice that these patterns stay the same, usually on 2 strings and all that stuff. And once you learn that, and then you're like, well, okay, I want to break out of that pattern. You learn how to do some single string running back into your octaves. And everywhere you have octaves, you always have a safe haven to leave and to come back, or to literally leave and come into the next octave, right? So I send everybody much peace, love, respect. Always do. Namaste. Till then, keep your heads up, your sticks on the ice. I love you all. Peace. Bye.